Why do people hate Jak 2 so much? Is it because it's not got lollipops and sparkle glue coming out of every orifice? Is it because it's got flying cars in it? Do you seriously hate something with flying cars in it? What the hell is wrong with you? Jak 2 is great! Oh, but it's grimdark, meh. Oh my god, you didn't play it. It's full to the brim with wisecrackery. It's fucking funny.
Outside the city? What about the security walls?
What about the metalheads? It ain't a petting zoo out there. Peeps be getting deep-sixed.
Find the large drain pipe in the north wall. It'll take you outside the city to the pumping station. Get to the main valve and open it. If you survive, the slums will be indebted to you. If not, maybe we'll have a touching moment of silence in your honor.
I'd like to give him a touching moment.
As if there's anything wrong with being grimdark anyway. Some of the best games ever are grimdark. Hexen, Harvester, Dark Souls, Ghouls and Ghosts. Jak 2 is one of the best platformers I ever played. I loved it so much I immediately played Jak 3 afterwards. Then I played the racing spin-off Jak X Combat Racing and it was excellent. Then I played the PSP games and they were pretty good too. It's a really, really good series. And now all it gets is, well, it's not as good as the first one. It's not as good as literally Banjo-Kazooie but worse. It's not as good as whatever, the game. No, I'm being harsh. The original Jak and Daxter isn't bad. But it's like, oh my god, who cares? Who cares about anything that is happening? Then Jak 2 comes along and, well, hey, now we're talking. An engaging storyline with amusing dialogue and a genuinely hilarious payoff. Fucking cool boss fight. It's a jet board. You get a jet board and you're complaining. What a great series. And it took Jak 2 for that series to find a voice and a direction with some of the greatest 3D platforming of all time. Sustain it in Jak 3, which is even better, arguably, and then a spin-off in Jak X, which is an intense and exciting combat racer, well worth more than the frankly tepid reception it got. Jak 2, it's a good game. Stop saying it isn't, you pricks. During my research on how to get anyone to watch this show at all, anyone, I've discovered that one way to bring in an audience is to introduce an additional co-presenter. So with that in mind, here's my friend Ken. Ken, hi Ken. Have you had any thoughts about video games lately?
You're all dinge fuck.
Okay. Well, that didn't work. Shovel Knight is basically the perfect indie game, and a success story in terms of gameplay that's almost alarming in its completeness. We've got an absolutely charmingly silly central mechanic, played straight for the most part to make it even more appealing. We've got awesome character designs for your rivals, memorable as hell. Every level is distinctive and none of them are like, this level. You're constantly gaining new abilities and learning to play better. The challenge is always high enough to be significant without feeling frustrating. There's a ton to do, loads of bonus areas and boss fights, and the pixel art is wonderful, adhering to NES style while going above and beyond with that little bit of flair. It's an instant stone cold classic, and then they followed it with a completely free DLC expansion, Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows, which is arguably the best DLC of all time. It presents mainly the same levels, but they're totally transformed by Plague Knight's unique moveset. You can change the properties and effect of your bombs in ways that can completely transform how you approach situations. It's magnificent. There are new areas in every stage and even new bosses. It's genuinely like a whole new game, and they gave it away for free. Mental. My advice to you is to definitely play Shovel Knight on whatever system you have available that's capable of running it. It's out on basically everything. I think you'll really dig it. Looney Tunes from Sunsoft is a strange little game for Game Boy and Game Boy Color, but I'm playing the Game Boy version here, which is obvious unless, you're watching this on a black and white TV, which would be cool, or if you're a spaniel, which would also be cool, or if you're not paying attention to the screen, in which case, hey, here dickhead. It's an ensemble piece. Each level lets you take control of a different Looney Tune, beginning with the standard but pleasant platforming you'd associate with Daffy Duck, complete with his traditional ultimate frisbee weapon as seen in almost every one of his cartoons. It feels good to play, tight, but there's a good flow to it. You immediately know it's a quality game, and it has that Game Boy feel that's nearly impossible to explain, but you probably know what I'm talking about, maybe, whatever. The second stage has you playing as Tweety Bird, the worst Looney Tune this side of Cool Cat, as she makes to escape from perennial feline foe Sylvester the Cat. It's a more rudimentary stage than the last one, but still enjoyable. Tweety can fly, but she's slowed down by obstacles and projectiles, with only Sylvester and that stupid little baby Sylvester able to damage her. So it's kind of like, it's about being annoyed until you die. Stage 3 goes apeshit and puts Porky in a plane in a shmup segment. I mean, I know he was in a plane that one time, but oh well, anyway, it's pretty good. And it's pretty short, so it doesn't outstay its welcome at all. It's one of those bits where you wonder just what this game was originally going to be before they got the Looney Tunes license. Stage 4 is back to traditional platforming in which you play as Mexico's favourite son, Speedy Gonzales. I'm laughing at my own dialogue now. Making his way through what seems to be an Egyptian pyramid. I mean, it could be a Mexican pyramid, I guess. They totally have those. And then the boss is Dracula, so I don't know. It's just that it seems slightly confused and frog! Oh, well, he didn't last very long. I guess not all the frogs commit. There's another one! So there's been kind of a lot of controversy recently in the sort of video games community, mostly regarding, say, women or like other, minorities. Just wondered what your take on that was, Ken.
Well, you fucked Sierra. What's that about?
Well, I can't. It was just a thing.
It's a company. It's a defunct company. Did you find her defunct?
That's the end of that bit. When I saw this screen, I knew I was in for a good time, and a lot of my time playing on the PC growing up was spent on Apogee Software's platformers. In fact, a lot of it is even today, because as far as I'm concerned, these games hold up really well, and they exemplify a style in both art and design that's almost entirely lost. Here are 5 of my favourite Apogee games. And 1. Crystal Caves is a really ugly game, but there's a charm to said ugliness and a charm to its very archaic exploration/collection focused gameplay. You can pick any level in any order basically, and your mission is to collect every gem. Usually this involves finding keys to open doors, switches to activate moving platforms, and carefully manoeuvring around the many things that want to kill you. Your ammo is incredibly limited, and a misplaced bullet could hit an air tank, instantly ending your life. Crystal Caves is a harsh mistress, but as with any mistress, if you treat her just right, you'll find her caves very oh, who writes this shit? 2. Hocus Pocus is a button-mashy platform blaster that actually feels a little bit like a side-scrolling Heretic sometimes. If you haven't played Heretic, well, stay tuned for episode 8. Anyway, yeah, it's good. The scrolling is a little bit jerky, but not a huge amount, and superior to a lot of other DOS games, including some of Apogee's own, like Cosmo's Cosmic Adventure. My only problem with it really is that being more arcadey than the others, there are some more arcadey bits, like lines of enemies appearing directly on top of you, which can feel unfair, but as long as you play it smart, it's great stuff. 3? Monster Bash is a bit of a tour de force, frankly, graphically and in terms of gameplay. You are Johnny Dash. You are a singularly annoying little shit, presumptuously assuming he can liberate the world's pets from evil. Why do children think they should be doing things besides being quiet? Anyway, this game is absolutely rammed with secret hidden areas and items and ooh, that's the sugar papa like. It's also hilariously all over the place tonally, this cutesy little game, and then you shoot a skeleton with a catapult and it explodes into jibs of wet gore. Brilliant. Get this blinder on your PC. 4. Biomenace is fucking great. You play as literally Chuck Norris and you have to explore complex, expansive stages, machine gunning cute little blobs into more honking jibs, brilliant, and collecting dozens of hidden items in, you get it, numerous super secret stashes. The level design is excellent throughout, with levels large enough to be tackled one session at a time, and never feeling convoluted for the sake of it, unlike Crystal Caves, say, which can be a slog at times. It controls well, the scrolling is smooth like butter, and ammo conservation feels important, but not frustratingly so. If you run out of ammo, you can still fire the gun in short bursts, so you have to play carefully or just go hog wild with the grenade. Biomenace, what a game! 5. Realms of Chaos is a truly badical fantasy platformer, and I believe it's Apogee's final side-scroller. You control heroic fantasy man or sexy fantasy lady, well it is a video game, and explore exciting fantasy lands like dungeon, forest and other dungeon. Man attacks with a sword, lady attacks with projectiles, but the projectiles are much weaker. Tactics, I guess. It's a cracker of a game and very difficult. It has the best play control of the lot, the nicest, most cohesive graphics and the smoothest movement. Maybe it's a smidge too difficult for its own good in places, but it's a fun time. Oh, and you can buy it on GOG.com. Wait, you can buy all these games on GOG.com. Hey GOG, how about some fucking money? As regular viewers will know, and hey, regular viewers, you and me, buddy, you and me. I grew up with a ZX Spectrum Plus 2, a tape-loading little miracle. I used to play games like Count Duckula, Ollie and Lissa, Ninja Hamster, and the immortal perfect Head Over Heels. We also had this raw fucking nightmare that scared the ever-living fucking shit out of me. I mean, look at it for motherfuck's sake. Yeah, we'll just give this to a kid. Fucking hell. Even seeing it now that I'm the world's foremost authority on gore cinema, I'm kind of unsettled. Look at it. And the game itself isn't much better. I later found out that the image is from a Lovecraft anthology, and why would you let me have this? I had literal nightmares about this. Why does this exist? Why did I have to look at it? Why? It's not soft and cuddly at all, it's actually horrific. And oh, that's the irony, isn't it? That's why they called it that. Yeah, I see now. Ken, do you feel that over the years video gaming has changed for the better or for the worse in terms of representation?
I remember these being funny.
What do you mean? I'm trying my best, man.
Well, what happened?
What do you mean?
I'm leaving.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm done, man.
I got nothing. I got nothing. So, what are your, say, 5 favourite video games of all time?
If you're asking me for my top 5, and that seems to be what you're asking me.
That is what I'm asking.
Okay. Well, 1 to 4 would be WWF, WrestleMania Challenge for the NES, or NES, or Nintendo Entertainment System, as it was known.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, got it. Why? What's the last one? What's 5?
That one with Joe Guest, where you play through to the end and she reveals her breasts.
I think it would be remiss of me not to mention Project G, which is a shmup style game available on Steam. Regular Video World contributor Leeann Hamilton worked on this, did, I'm going to say 99% of the art for it. As you can see, it looks great, and I can confirm it is also a fun game, and I wouldn't plug it if it wasn't. I'm sorry for the collusion in games journalism, but unfortunately sometimes people like things their friends made and they want to go, hey, it's good.